You're listening to Last Word Radio, where you get the last word.
Welcome to the Fourth Line Podcast, part of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB Financial. This is October the 23rd, 2017. With you today is myself, Carl, and the always wonderful Joel. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Joel.
What's up, Carl?
I thought you were just going to flash a peace sign and not say anything. I'm glad you vocalized that. Uh-oh. I might not make it.
I'm dying.
Yeah. Please don't. I've heard rumors that you might have some news for us.
Carl, there's big news in the fourth line world.
Is it that your Leafs are winning right now?
Well, I'm pretty happy about that.
Okay.
Take that, LPP pod.
Oh, just calling them out.
Oh, 2-0. Leafs just scored, dude. So.
Oh, what luck.
What are the chances? Actually, pretty good because this Leafs score a lot of goals. Yeah, big news. You know about the big news.
I do know, yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put the news?
It's like a 9.5. Like, it's pretty big.
It's pretty big. It's so big that we're not going to tell you till next week.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm pretty serious about it.
Okay.
I don't know. I like the tease.
Okay. So next week we have big news?
Next week we have big news.
Okay. That's good. I'm glad we can talk about it next week.
Yeah, because we probably can talk about it this week, but I just, like, when we were talking about if we should reveal the big news, I love the tease.
You are such a tease. That's what we've always said about Joel. That Joel is such a tease.
So, yeah, next week, be here. We won't say it until the very end of the show next week.
So you have to listen to 2 full episodes to get the news. Or you'll just listen to just the end next week and skip all this front stuff.
Oh, you know what I should do is I should say part of it at the end of this week, but like so that it doesn't make any sense, and then you have to listen to all of it next week to get the complete message.
Okay, I like that. We can do that. A little Boom City replacement.
No, it's not going to happen. I'm not that clever.
We would definitely forget to say the second half next week and just mention it. Joel, before we get any further into the show, can I tell you about some of my favorite people?
Yes.
My favorite people are not the Los Angeles Kings. That is a guarantee. But I do love the fine folks at ATB. They support the Alberta Podcast Network. They support the Fourth Line Podcast. They also support hockey in the community. So if you are someone who says, you know what, I like hockey. I like that it's not as expensive as it is for some people, that there are people out there supporting that and making it happen, and that kids can be able to play hockey. ATB is there for you.
Ah, dang it.
King scored. Well, that's unfortunate. But, Joel, you know what is also unfortunate? Concussions.
Here, let me just,
Is it empty in there?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Go on in.
Because I need the Rant Shack right now. For those of you who will have seen, it'll be in the sports centers or whatever you use to watch. If you did not watch the Kings. I'm so fired up. I don't even know who's playing. The Kings and the Leafs, the high-sticking game of the day. End of this first period, about 4 or 5 minutes left. Jonathon Quick got knocked over, went down, held his head, got back up, stayed in the play. And everyone said, ourselves included, how did Jonathon Quick get to stay in that game? He didn't. The man upstairs, the man or woman, I suppose, I don't know who it was, but the concussion spotter upstairs said, hey, Johnny, you've got to go, got a concussion. He said, no, I don't. I'm fine. Entirely missing the point of the concussion spotter. And apparently you can do that. Apparently you can just say, hey, I don't have a concussion. Don't need to get checked out. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. The exact reason the concussion spotter was put in place, because no player, especially goalies, are not going to be pulling themselves. The amount of goaltenders who get hurt, get a hit to the head, and then stay in the game is ridiculous. And that is literally the exact reason that they've had to put these concussion spotters in place. Jonathon Quick doesn't need it. He goes to the bench, the coach vying on Quick's side. So now we both have Jonathon Quick, the player. Now the team hired coach is saying, he can stay out there. He doesn't need to come out. So what they say is, okay, you have to come out for at least one play. So he goes there, stands in the bench, gets evaluated, and then comes back out after the whistle blows. Approximately a minute. No evaluation was done. He just stood there. This is ridiculous. The NHL, I look forward to the day that this is shown in an actual courtroom when the NHL gets sued for not caring about their employees, because this is ridiculous. There's none. No reason this should have happened.
So you're going, this is the NHL's fault. You're not saying that this is Jonathon Quick and the Kings' fault.
No, it is Jonathon Quick's fault. It is the Kings' fault. It is the ref's fault. The NHL actually did what they should have done, which is put the concussion spotter in place. So the official who did not actually mandate, unless that's the rule, if the rule is you only need to be out there for one play, and you don't actually need to, right?
That's not the rule.
You need to go to a quiet room. You need to be evaluated. So everyone who failed at the implementation of this rule, as created by the NHL, is at fault. And the NHL will be held, if you wanted to, you would hold the NHL 100% liable for their officials not implementing it and enforcing the rules that need to be done. Because him sitting on the bench is not enough.
I guess so. Jonathon Quick could never actually sue the NHL, though, now. Because he could never actually say, you didn't care about my health, when they'd just be like, well, we actually did, but you refused to go off the ice. I don't know. I think Jonathon Quick's more at fault, or the Kings are more at fault than anybody else here. Because, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I couldn't believe, there was... It was pretty ridiculous when Jonathon Quick went behind the bench for, 10 seconds and then came out and claimed to have gone to the quiet room.
Yeah.
That's not... There's no way.
We can see you. Yeah. That hallway is not quiet.
Yeah, we're fairly confident you didn't go to the quiet room.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is just... I really think... okay, here's a question. If you were a fan at the arena, sitting right beside the goalie, where Jonathon Quick was sitting for that non-quiet minute.
Yeah.
Would you have A, done nothing, B...
The answer is never do nothing, just for the record.
Point and laugh, or C, find an air horn and just blast it as loud as you could, creating the opposite effect of a quiet room?
I probably would have ran out to my car, grabbed my stethoscope that I keep there, and held it up to the glass just to check if he was okay.
I think I would try and encourage everyone to be as loud as possible around him. Because it's his own fault then at that point.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. I guess it's probably not a good thing. You probably don't want to encourage injury, but
according to him, he's not hurt. So
according to him, he's not hurt. So yelling at him's not a problem, right?
Yeah. If he was hurt, if loud noises make him pain, yeah, he wouldn't be able. Anyways, Joel, thank you for cleaning out the Rant Shack for me. Will you be surprised at all if Jonathon Quick sits down for 20 games now with a concussion? I would be more surprised if he misses no time. I 100% expect him to miss something with the concussion.
Yeah, because it's Murphy's Law at this point.
Yeah, you literally asked for it to happen. So
yeah, I would not be at that point. Like, there was a minute left in the period. Just go.
yeah, it's the odds of them even scoring. Who cares? Go to the quiet room for intermission. It's a minute.
Yeah, because and that was the other thing. He did come back on the ice for the last 12 seconds or whatever.
Yeah. Not only did he came back for nothing.
Yeah. So he could have just gone to the quiet room. I think there's three people to blame here. I think Jonathon Quick. Was it John Stevens? Is that the coach?
Yeah, that's the coach for LA.
And the guy wearing the orange band. Those are the only people to blame. Because they spotted the head blow. They sent him to the quiet room. Nobody enforced it. That ref is going to get a talking to, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he's getting the old slap on the wristy.
George Peros is not going to be... Is it George Peros?
Yeah.
Gregory Peros? Francis Peros. What's his name?
George.
Okay.
Yeah, you got her.
There we go. So, there you go.
Speaking of that game, let's just camp there for a second. Roman Polak, back with the Leafs on the ice.
I don't want to talk about it.
I do want to talk about
comment.
it. Okay, so the Leafs brought in George Peros. What would you... We won't talk... They didn't bring in George Peros, actually.
No comment.
They brought in Roman Polak, who... We won't mention the defenseman who shall not be named. Who would you rather be taking his ice time right now?
I don't know. Anybody.
So just anyone in the Leafs lineup.
Like, remember that thing that you used to put in the net when you were a kid in street hockey?
The shooter tutor.
Put that on the ice. Just between two pylons. And just have Connor Carrick push it around.
I think between two pylons is the name for the space between Roman Polak and Matt Hunwick.
Whoa. Oh, man. This is... Why do you got to bring this stuff up?
You laughed at least. Didn't make you cry.
Hunwick and Polak was the Hunlack. The Hunlack pairing. Oh, this is terrible. Why are we even talking about this? Nobody cares.
Someone cares.
Polak is there to kill penalties when he's not in the penalty box.
That's the whole point. He got there tonight.
So I would like Travis Dermott to be playing instead of him.
Okay. The thing is, as the Leafs score a lot, they give up a fair amount as well, but I've actually been fairly pleased with what the Leafs have been able to do on the old defensive side of the puck this year.
This Nick Zaitsev is a wonderful, wonderful man.
I'm glad you think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah, no, he's good. I'm warming up to the fact that his 7-year contract wasn't a completely terrible idea.
It won't be bad. He's only going to be 32 when it's done.
Yeah, but he's also had played 85 games in the NHL?
Not even.
Yeah. So
I guess if you count playoffs, then yes.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. You'll be happy with that contract.
You'll be happy. I don't care.
Oh. Can we stay on this game for a little bit longer?
Sure.
Did you know that the LA Kings have played 7 games so far this year, not including tonight?
It's a reasonable amount.
This will be their 8th game.
Okay.
Would you know that they have played against, out of those 8 games, 6 against the Eastern Conference?
Are those the 6 games they've won?
Yeah. 5 games they've won. The 5, they've won 5 against the Eastern Conference. Because this is their 6th. They haven't won yet. They're currently losing. Just would like to point that out.
Okay.
Isn't that weird? You don't seem as weirded out by that as I was when I saw.
No, because I see a lot of, Carolina, they went on a Western road trip to start the season. The Avalanche went on an Eastern road trip to start the season. So if you start the season on an East Coast road trip and you're a Western Conference team, you're going to have a very heavy weighted schedule because they get those out. It'd be weirder if they'd played all those games at home. Now that would be weird. And I know some of them were. So it's not like I'm denying those facts. But
they've only played 2 on the road.
including tonight?
No.
Right. So, yeah, half of them have been on the road.
Yeah, I just don't get it. Why are they playing so many games against... No, I hate this new system. Like, there's no divisional rivalry anymore.
See, I feel like there's more divisional rivalry.
Because you play everyone in your division twice. Whoopee.
No, you play them like 4 or 5 times. And the fact of the playoffs being like forced against your division makes it good. So if you're not a playoff team, this system doesn't really build rivalries. But if you're making the playoffs, if you're a good team, those rivalries are getting good.
I guess. I don't know. It just seems weird. Like, I feel like I would want more. I don't know. I don't even know who's in the Leafs division. Like, that's how uninspiring it is.
There's a lot of uninspiring teams in that division. You've got the Sabres. You've got the Canadiens.
The Canadiens are awful.
That is a team that is one of the hottest of messes right now.
Do you think that Shea Weber is their savior?
No, Joel. I do not think Shea Weber is their savior. I did enjoy someone point out, I forget who it was on Twitter, I saw someone make the graphic, that this is the Habs' worst start to a season since 1976, a certain former Montreal Canadiens defenseman's number.
That's funny. This team's pretty bad. You remember when they signed Shea Weber to a monster deal?
Or traded for Shea Weber's monster deal?
Yeah, and then they signed a goalie to a monster deal?
Yeah. It's like you need more than just Carey Price. It's like he can't carry you forever.
How do you think Jonathon Drouin's feeling right now? This is what I was thinking about. He hated it in Tampa, like with a good team. Now he's playing in Montreal with a terrible team.
Now, he's got to be pretty pleased with his decision to get out of Tampa, where now they just have Stamkos and Kucherov scoring every goal ever for all eternity. It would be very disappointing to be part of that team.
I know. You'd be like, well, why would I want to play on Stamkos' left wing? That sounds terrible.
Yeah. No one wants to be just getting wide open. That line, let's go there for a second. That line is just ridiculous how everyone last year got so used to just focusing on Kucherov. He still did well, but now you're seeing like Kucherov draw guys off out of the play to him, and now Stamkos is left wide open or vice versa. It's kind of silly how good that pairing has been to start the year.
Yeah, it is. I agree. Do you remember who I said was going to be the Rocket Richard winner?
Austin Matthews?
Oh,
you didn't. Okay, cool.
Don't you remember?
Was it Mr. Stamkos?
No.
Kucherov. Oh.
That was my pick.
You don't look dumb yet. It's a pretty good start to the season.
I'm currently winning.
Yeah. Good for
currently
you.
winning. Also, Mr. Ovechkin's there too, but like he hasn't scored he only scored in his first 2 games.
Yeah, he went full Connor McDavid on that.
Yeah.
So if you're the Habs, like they are currently dead last in the NHL, barring the Arizona Coyotes. So they're last in the East. Arizona 1 point so far, which is, Arizona is its own set of problems. But Montreal is a team. Like we thought Arizona would be better this year, but I don't think it's super surprising to anyone that they are where they are. Montreal, we figured that they would be at least competent, right? We figured they would be a playoff team. Sure, we're only a tenth of the way through the season. There's a lot that can change. Every team can go through a 1-6-1 stretch and still make the playoffs, right? But they're here. Are they going to get better?
No. They're not good. Who's going to get them better? Nobody's hurt on their team right now.
Yeah, this is the Montreal Canadiens that they have.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or Schlemko. I don't know.
Dave Schlemko is not the savior of this team. Just in case you're wondering.
Man.
Here's my thought on it. you have signed, sure, Shea Weber came in. I know that in the past, I had a great affliction for a certain former Washington Capital. There are two reasons why I had this love for this Washington Capital. One, he was a Washington Capital. My second team, it was hard. I had a blindness. I also had a namesake blindness. Me and him, we have a bond. Sure, he spells it weird, and that should have been the first sign. The first sign should have been, this guy doesn't even know how to spell Carl right. But sure enough, Carl Alsner is not very good at hockey.
I believe you owe me something right now.
Look, Joel, trust me. We're gonna get to another thing. This is this is the episode that I apologize for everything I've said forever and just quickly state the facts. Yes, you were right about Carl Alsner, Joel.
Not a very good hockey player.
No. And he's the problem is he is what he was in Washington. Not a whole lot's changed. You just don't have the other great players surrounding him. You don't have great offensive threats carrying the play. When it's down to him, he needs to play well, and he is not.
Yeah, so here's the question. If you are sitting there as a Montreal Canadiens fan, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being we're probably going to win the Stanley Cup this year, to 10 being I'm worried that we might be worse than the Coyotes, where are you on a scale of how worried are you?
So a 10 is we might be worse than the Coyotes.
Yeah.
I'm like a 7.
That's like, should we just trade our team straight up for the Golden Knights? That's.
It's like maybe we shouldn't have given all of our money to Shea Weber. Maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe we shouldn't have traded away a prospect defenseman for Jonathon Drouin. Maybe we should have found a way to get a center. Maybe
you trade that prospect defenseman for, I don't know, Matt Duchene instead of Jonathon Drouin.
Yeah, I know they have Drouin playing center, but maybe we have a guy who actually can and does play center. Yeah, there's a lot of things that they should maybe reconsider.
Maybe we shouldn't give Andrew Shaw 5-year deals.
Maybe we shouldn't trade. Let's not remember they traded for Andrew Shaw and then handed him a 5-year deal.
Right.
Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes. And I would genuinely be concerned.
Whoa.
The fact of
wait, Ales Hemsky is still in the league?
Yeah, but he's not on this roster right now, so it's fine.
Okay. This is breaking news. We got some breaking news music. Ales Hemsky still on an NHL roster, or I guess getting paid by an NHL team, but not bought out yet. I thought he was long gone. No, sir.
Yeah, there's a lot. The fact of Alex Galchenyuk, they are just wasting. You're paying the guy $5 million. Find a way to make use of him, or don't pay him $5 million because this is ridiculous. So, Montreal Canadiens, a lot of work to do. I think it's finally time that they've got a clean house there. Get some new management in town and see what you can salvage out of this. It's weird so far to be saying salvage. Joel's got his hand up. What's happening?
Okay, I'm on this Ales Hemsky thing. Okay, yeah, I get it. Be better, Canadians. Okay, can you guess what Ales Hemsky's number one, his most goals in a season are? How many goals do you think he scored?
34.
No. If you were talking about the Q, yes, but we're not.
Is it 18?
A little bit higher. 23. 23 goals. I thought, like, the way that the Oilers fans used to talk about this guy, I thought he was better than that. He is not.
No.
Anyways.
So what, 18 is his career high in goals?
23.
23, okay.
Yeah, like that's... Can you... What would you do? What's the one thing you do, like, if you're like, we need to do something with this team?
I would trade Galchenyuk before you entirely ruin all of his value.
Yeah.
You?
I would trade Galchenyuk. Yeah, that's probably... I would try and move as many as... I would go full on tank. Trade Carey Price.
I love the chuckle.
I was just like, his extension hasn't even kicked in yet.
It's always nice when you start questioning an extension before it starts. It's always a sign of great management. But at the same, the Carey Price contract, you had to sign that. Like, you can't lose him because then you are 100% going full tank. You have no one behind him. That is a contract you had to give. I don't blame them for that. The rest of the surrounding moves.
What about Al Montoya? What about that guy? He'd probably stop a puck or two.
1 or 2 is correct, yes.
I would trade. I would get. You know where the problem probably lies with this team?
Nope.
Patches. Get rid of that guy. Just trade him. Send him to the AHL.
Trade him for a center. Trade anyone for a center. You need some of those. Anyways, Joel. More teams with problems. The Pittsburgh Penguins. This is part 2 in things Carl was wrong about. You may recall earlier in the year, I was 100% on board in saying that Antti Niemi was the backup that the Pittsburgh Penguins needed. Today he was waived. So not only was the GM of the Pittsburgh Penguins wrong, so was I. So I take solace in knowing that I am not alone in this. The Penguins are going to be using a rookie goaltender. Mr. Yari is going to be backing up Matt Murray, and they are going out on a big old road trip with a couple back-to-backs on. So we're going to be seeing him in action very soon, which will let the Penguins know if this guy is the one that they need. If you were the Pittsburgh Penguins, what would you do to solve this backup situation?
It doesn't matter. Just put someone there. Who cares?
So the fact that you give up a 7 spot to the Lightning, the fact that he gave up like a 10 spot to the Hawks earlier in the year, just anyone is better than that and go with it?
Niemi's rough. That's a rough place. Yeah, I'd go with wherever. Doesn't matter. Just get a goalie. I don't know. There's like guys on waivers just all the time.
Yeah,
like Calvin Pickard, Malcolm Subban. Just pick one of those guys.
Okay. The problem with picking up a Malcolm Subban type is he might go on a very hot run for you when your former Pittsburgh Penguin goalie gets hurt, and then he might also get hurt. So that is the problem, and this is why I'm shocked that teams seem to think hold on, Joel. I'm about to give your team some credit.
It's empty again. Going back in.
This isn't the Rant Shack.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just like perpetually fired up, but I don't understand why teams think that you can just like not have a goalie. You constantly say you don't need a great goalie, you need a competent one, but you do need a goalie.
That's
right?
True. I've heard the shooter tutor does not stop everything.
Yeah. And Antti Niemi stops less. So you need to have someone in net.
Now, we better hope Niemi doesn't listen to this. We just said that he's worse than a piece of plastic that has holes in it.
But that's not going to fall down. That's the great thing about it. The problem is you need someone. And so, sure, Pittsburgh, they lost out on Marc-Andre Fleury. It was obvious they were going to lose one of those goalies. They made the best of a bad situation. You need to bring in someone. The Golden Knights, they brought in Malcolm Subban. They were like, this is our guy as backup. We don't need Calvin Pickard. Your Leafs, as bad as Curtis McElhinney is, you have a slew of guys who are competent backups below him. So when you decide the Curtis McElhinney experiment is over and done with, he's gone. You can call up Calvin Pickard. You have Garrett Sparks, who could also be a moderately competent backup behind him. And there are so many teams that just have nothing as their backup. And it is befuddling.
I will let anybody who wants to jump on the Curtis McElhinney experience, you feel free to take that opportunity. It is not a good experience. It's a ride that you think because you're like, oh, this guy, he's got a fun little name or something. Nope, not a fun experience. Don't want to be a part of that. So, I agree. There seems to be this thing where, are we moving too far away from what maybe people are listening to me too much? Maybe
they're only half listening to you.
They're like, well, you just got to get a guy. But then they're like, you know what? Like, really, like, let's just put pads and a helmet on anybody. It's like, well, maybe there's a reason that you need at least somebody. But, like, I don't know. Is it like, how many other teams is this a problem for? It's like, what are the chances the team like the Golden Knights is going to run into that many injuries again, right?
Oh, definitely losing your two goalies immediately. But it's not like Marc-Andre Fleury's always been healthy. It's not like you should put the reins of your team in the hands of a guy with zero NHL experience, and now a guy with also zero NHL experience. So Oscar Dansk, great name, zero track record.
Yeah. Well, I guess today we're learning about all the things that you got wrong. For me, you were learning about that I don't have a future as a sound effects guy.
Okay.
That's because I don't think anyone thought that was actually a creaking door.
Well, I'm glad that you're able to see your flaws.
Yeah, I am not going to take a job as a sound effects person.
No,
that was my lifelong dream, really.
I'm sorry to hear that. But like, okay, so what if we needed like what else can you do? Like a horse? Can you make like horse hooves? So fun fact, Joel doesn't know what hooves are.
Oh, I didn't hear you say hoof. You said, can you do a horse?
Yeah.
Can you do a horse? That's what you said.
Okay, no, that was a great horse. Like, can you make like the clip clop sound?
I don't have coconuts.
Okay. That's fine.
You got any others? I'll try something else.
I don't know, like a duck?
I was thinking like a laser pistol or like a plane or something, like a duck. Where is this? This is it's not sound effects. It's just straight up animals.
Yeah. Can you do
how many animals?
Can you do animal noises? Okay, yeah, sure. Go. You seem to think laser beams in your wheelhouse. Go with that. No.
What does a laser beam sound like? You do laser beam.
Pew!
That's not a laser. That's
that
like
100% is a laser beam.
So you think this is pew pew?
Yeah.
Pew pew pew.
Yours is like bouncing back at you. It's kind of weird. That's what I don't like about it. Like it should just go because there's no bounce back. It just goes and it just like goes straight through whatever it hits.
I'm trying to think what can you do any sound effects? Are you good at sound effects?
No, I'm terrible. I'm also bad at impressions.
Oh, I'm not very good at impressions either, and I'm not gonna try. Although apparently some people think I have a pretty spot on Don Cherry.
Yeah, that's more of your opinions, though.
Well, maybe I'm gonna watch Coach's Corner on Saturday, and I'm going to give a Don Cherry impression next week.
Here's the thing, though. You're not doing a great job because you did have a positive thing to say about a Russian earlier. So,
well, I'll just be a better human person, Don Cherry.
Yeah, you're like a gentler Don Cherry.
How is this guy like still on the air?
Don't know.
So, like, we have people in sports media, like, getting silenced or getting told that they are no longer allowed to use their platform to talk against, like, actual world problems. And and they're like, no, that's not the place. And Don Cherry is still around. Like, this is mind-boggling. Maybe it's just because we're all Canadian. We're just like, oh, well, he means well.
He is that crazy old uncle that, like, no one really wants to tell him, like, hey, uncle, like, you can't say all that racist stuff that you still say. We're just fine with it. Like, we're okay with that because he's old. But, like, yeah, a 30-year-old would say the same thing. It wouldn't be okay. It shouldn't be okay.
Are you watching this Leafs thing unfold in front of us, or you turn the game off?
No, I didn't have my TV machine. I'm using this computer to record a podcast.
So the LA Kings player just knocked Matt Martin into Jonathon Quick, and then Mitch Marner scored, and they called it goalie interference.
They do that all the time, though.
But, like,
goalie interference is like, what is a catch in the NFL? No one knows what goalie interference is.
I don't get how you can, like, I don't get this. I don't get... Someone needs to, like, explain the rules of hockey to me. We need someone to do this. We should get Carrie Fraser to, like, explain these rules to us.
Please. Please do.
He could also give us hair tips and tell us funny stories about how players like Steve Yzerman backtalked him.
Did you see Sidney Crosby getting the old 10-minute misconduct for talking back to the ref this weekend?
I did not. I did not. So
Sidney Crosby not above the law. He was not okay with them giving him a penalty, which
and then he got a misconduct with it.
Like they scored on the power play. He got out of the box and he was still fired up.
So,
someone open Joel. Can you open the Rant Shack for Sid? Gets better every time. All you need was a little practice. That's all.
Yeah, there you go. Jonathon Quick is now complaining about a high stick. Oh, maybe. Nah. Me might be justified on this one.
Okay. Well, see, I figured...
I take it back. Not a high stick. Take it back. Good goal.
Good.
Patty Marleau, number 12 in the year.
No, it's not his number 12 for the year. That's just his number.
Yeah. What else happened this week, Carl? I feel like it was a slow week in the NHL.
I thought the opposite. There was, like, people going over the place. Mr. Athanasiou, the name no one can spell and everyone hates to say, is back.
I thought it was Anastasio.
Yeah. See, I made sure when our friend Nick from Wings Nation was on, filling in for you, he gave me the lowdown on how you say it. He said it's Athanasiou.
So it's like, happened to see you.
Exactly, yeah.
But without the H.
Yeah, it's like...
Happened to see you.
It's like when he wasn't on the Wings roster. It's like, I cannot see you. Because he wasn't there.
Now he's Italian. Because you definitely said it.
Maybe I am good at impressions, Joel. And accents.
That was really good. Say that again. Do it again.
I cannot see you.
Yeah, that's a good... So, like... Is he... I don't think he's Italian.
No, I'm pretty sure he's... Like, that name sounds Greek.
Oh, that could be... Do you think he's, like he was born he born in Greece? Is he, like, the first player born from Greece to play in the NHL?
I don't know which generation of Greek, but, like, his name, Andreas, his family's name, his Dmitry and Nicholas are his brothers.
Well, that sounds like Russian or like Slovakian or something, right? Like Dmitry?
Yeah. And Nicholas? That could be Russian.
So is Athanasiou Russian now?
I don't know.
What's his first name?
Andreas.
Which
doesn't seem Russian.
I'm gonna go...
His dad's name? Let's add another wheel of this cog. His dad's name? Stanley.
So...
The Athanasiou name all over the map.
You want to know the one that we didn't guess that he is?
Do tell.
Canadian.
Well, I know like he's born in Canada, but like,
Oh, okay. I thought
where's the name from?
Okay, fine, that's fair. But I thought like you were like he was like from Greece.
No.
Oh, well, this got much less exciting.
Sorry to disappoint. Yeah, if I could have just easily Googled where he was from.
Yeah, that's.
Ancestry.com tells me that it's Greek. So
Greek. There you go. Apparently, we're on the same place.
Yeah.
This is very, very interesting. This is a new game that we can play when we when we have a new player that we don't know who they are. Guess where they're from.
Yeah. Guess the country of origin.
We're gonna get in trouble with that.
Who knew Stanley, the Greekest of names? So he's back, and the Detroit Red Wings were in need of making room on the roster, and you could say, you know, as bad as the Montreal Canadiens are with some of their roster moves, the Detroit Red Wings is even worse. We mentioned him. If you want a great follow of just like someone who's disappointed in his team, go give Mr. Nick Sagan a follow on Twitter, Nick Sagan 19, because it is both sad and hilarious watching him react to the Red Wings moves. Because like, there's the sadness of their current moves, which is like, you know, the things they've done this offseason. There's the sadness of their previous moves, things like giving Darren Helm a 5-year contract or Justin Abdelkader a 6-7-year contract. So those are some of the fun things you get to enjoy.
But the Abdelkader will feel like a 12-year contract, so there's great value there.
Yeah, it's the buyout that keeps on giving. So those are some of the great things. Anyways, they made a trade to make room on the roster for him. They made a couple trades. They traded Riley Sheehan to the Pittsburgh Penguins, a former first-round pick that you know is going to score a ton of goals now on the Pittsburgh Penguins. It just feels prime for him to have a breakout with some of those guys.
Wasn't that guy like? How many goals does that Ryan Reeves guy have?
Like 2? I don't know. I'm not big on the Ryan Reeves stat sheet.
I'm pretty sure he has like almost as many as he had last year.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Derek Dorsett. That's a guy. What's his deal?
I don't know.
Ryan Reeves won. Last year he had 7, so he's on his way.
Derek Dorsett, everyone on the Vancouver Canucks.
It's a hot take you have right there.
My thumb was also down for that, just in case you were wondering.
I was actually, yeah.
Okay, well, that's how I feel. I don't know.
So, good luck.
Red Wings, good job, guys.
Good luck to Ryan Reeves in Pittsburgh. Enjoy all the goals you're going to score.
Corey Sheehan. What's the guy's name? I don't even know.
Riley Sheehan.
Okay.
The Red Wings also traded Ryan Sproul to the Rangers. And
I'm gonna go with American.
Ryan Sproul. Let's we'll effort to find out his place of origin, and then we'll
Canadian.
continue on. It's a struggle. But so Joel, we can all laugh at the Detroit Red Wings and what they've done. However, they're performing well, and there's a lot of teams not performing well to start the season. The Detroit Red Wings, 9 points in 9 games. I think we can agree they peaked early. There's a lot of teams that a number of people thought coming into the year that they would succeed, and they are not. Let's play a quick round, some rapid fire.
Okay.
Of in or out. So here's some teams. I'll just list them off. You can give me a reason why you think they'll be in or out. San Jose Sharks, currently out of the playoffs, in or out?
Like in meaning they'll be in the playoffs, or out meaning they'll be out of the playoffs?
Yeah.
I'm going to go out.
Really? So at the start of the year, you thought, I know this was rapid fire. I changed it immediately. At this, because I'm already shocked. Start of the year, like, were you not pro Sharks?
I was, but they just look terrible. And I make rash decisions and changes in my life, and so I'm going to make rash and furious changes right now. Okay. They're out.
I'm saying they're in. As bad as look, me and Tiny, I pumped their tires last week with Tiny on the show.
Well,
they've looked good since then.
This is because he said Boom City at the beginning of the show. So now I'm out on the Sharks and everything San Francisco.
Well, you turned off the show when he said Boom City. You don't even know what we said.
Exactly.
If it helps, Joel, he also said the Warriors are going 75-7. They're currently 1-2.
Oh, ouch. I take it back. I'm sorry, Mike. Feel your pain.
All right. The team that the Sharks are currently beating 3-0, the New York Rangers.
Out.
Yeah,
we already said that.
I'm going with out as well. They are not looking good.
Next,
the Edmonton Oilers.
Out.
I want to say in because they looked so good last year, but this team has nothing. How were we also just blinded by McDavid to not realize how awful this supporting cast was?
Because Connor McDavid is really good at hockey.
Here's what I'm going to do, though. I am going to say in because currently in the playoffs for the Pacific Division is the Vegas Golden Knights and the Vancouver Canucks, and they're both going to be out. So I'm saying, you know what? The Oilers are going to fill those spots. Another team I think will fill that spot. Currently out, the Anaheim Ducks. I'm saying in.
Sure, in.
All right. Let's go over to the East. We mentioned the Rangers. Montreal, in, out. I'm saying out.
Out. Oh, out. Hands down out.
All right. Two teams. Now, this is really going to tell me how I should feel about my decision-making process. Currently out, the Washington Capitals.
In. They'll turn it around.
Yes, 100% the Washington Capitals will turn it around. However, also currently out, the Carolina Hurricanes.
Out.
I'm going in, Joel.
Yeah, well, you have to because they're your team. You bought 3 jerseys and you painted your car red and white.
Which was a terrible mistake. Everyone thinks it's a Red Wings car. So, aside from some of these, there have been a number of injuries this week. We talked about some of them already. Goalie injuries to the Golden Knights. Another goaltender hurt this week, Roberto Luongo. Is it time for Roberto Luongo to just retire and get the Canucks to have to renegotiate that cap recapture thing?
Probably. This is are we in the midst of just all the guys getting injured? Because Lundqvist got hurt tonight. JVR is currently being carried off the ice by a trainer.
That's not good.
You're talking about Roberto Luongo being hurt. It's just everybody's hurt.
Jaromir Jagr is hurt.
Jagr.
It's almost
that's kind of conditioning's a big deal.
It's almost like you at 45 years old you can't skip training camp and just be game ready in a week.
It's probably true.
That's probably a thing you should do. And I'm not. Everyone's pretty much in shape all season, but when you're 45 years old, those things are going to happen. Bobby Ryan.
He's broken finger or something, right?
Yeah, he has quite the history of hand injuries. So, definitely don't want to see that, but honestly, not that surprising, sadly.
But how do you, oh, but it's not surprising. I don't know. It's he broke a finger. It's kind of like a freak injury.
I don't know. As a guy who has had multiple finger injuries, I just know at this point that my fingers are going to get hurt doing almost anything. So
how many broken fingers have you had?
I have sprained my finger 3 times. I have broken a finger, and I have had to have tendon surgery to take a cyst off of it. That happened when I dropped 150 pounds on it.
Right. How do you sprain a finger? And how do you know that it's sprained?
It reacts like it's broken. It just swells up. It's just big.
Oh, I've had that before.
Yeah. So 2 of them I did play in basketball.
Oh, it's ball off the end of the finger.
Ball off the end of the finger, exactly.
Hey, jam it. Oh, okay. So a sprain is like a jam.
Yeah. It swells up, it gets all purple, but it's not broken.
Okay. Oh. Doesn't everyone... This happens to everyone at some point.
But I feel like my fingers, it happens more.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You gotta take care of those fingers.
I do now.
Do you wear gloves like Costanza? Just like you're just wearing like oven mitts all over the place.
Yeah, you have to go full mitten. You can't go glove. The mitten is the only way to properly protect your hands.
So, this part of the show is brought to you by clue number 1 for Joel's big announcement next Monday. Mittens.
Interesting.
Oh,
I don't even understand that clue.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
You'll get it when I tell you. You'll be like, oh, that's clever.
Okay. Oh, I just saw that JVR injury. Looked like he did a push-up on that GIF replay.
Yeah, well, he did the splits.
You know what else I can't do? I have weak fingers and I cannot do the splits. That's something me and JVR have in common.
JVR doesn't have weak fingers.
No, the second part. Like, I have similarities with injured players from both teams in Ontario.
There you go. Okay. Well, Bobby Lou hurt. He might not recover from this one.
Yeah, it's like almost getting to the point.
Anytime he goes down with an injury, you're like, is this the one?
And honestly, at the same, like, Lundqvist is right behind him. He's no spring chicken.
Bobby Lou, they'll just put him on, like, the next injury he gets, they just put him on long-term IR. Like, they're only paying him like $1 million a year at this point.
Like, actual money-wise? Yeah.
Yeah, and so they don't need cap space, so that'll be fine.
Yeah, actually, this year he's making more than his cap hit still.
Wow.
Yeah, next year's when it drops off the cliff. So his cap hits 4.5. He's making a whopping 5.7. He's making 1.2 more than his cap hit.
What does he make next year?
2.8.
Oh, there it is.
So next year is the year.
Long-term IR.
Yeah.
All right. What's next? Are we on to high sticking? Is that where we're at?
Next is the games of the week.
Games of the week.
I guess before we do that, let's just briefly mention a kudos. I hate myself today for all these nice things I'm giving to you. Kudos to you and Tiny for another victory in fantasy hockey.
Yeah, we're doing well.
Yeah,
we're doing well. So it helped that the person that we played had Tuukka Rask, and I think Marc-Andre Fleury. I don't know. Both of his goalies were hurt, so he got 0 goalie starts.
That's a problem. You need to have goalies playing. I hope I play him this week.
I hope he picks up someone like, I don't know. Hey, we have 3 goalies. We'll make a trade. Whoever wants. We have 0 trades happening in this league so far.
Yeah,
we need a trade.
Let's make that happen.
I'll trade one of our goalies. Yeah, so, okay, here we go. Pavel Bure's of the week. These are our must-watch games because Pavel Bure is great. And if you'd like to hear more about our thoughts on Pavel Bure, you might want to check out our Patreon episode and subscribe for that. Because we talked about that guy.
Joel's full of teases today.
Yeah. Hey, I would say Pavel Bure is a good hockey player.
I'd say he's the number 2 player not on my team that I cheered for.
Oh, okay. Okay, Tuesday night. Tomorrow night, what game are you going to be watching, Carl?
Now, here's the thing, Joel. We actually, there's a ton of games tomorrow. Everyone's playing. I'm going to be watching Dallas and Colorado, but that's not what I'm going to pick for high sticking. We actually had someone make a request.
That's interesting.
And the request was, I've never been to a game that was the high sticking game, and I'm going to be at this one. Can you pick it?
Which one? Better not be a bad game.
To be fair, there's not a lot of great games tomorrow.
Well, I had one that I was going directly to.
There's 2 that I would pick above this one. It's probably my third. Because record-wise, he wants Chicago and Vegas.
Someone's in Vegas going to a hockey game?
Yeah.
I wish I was in Vegas going to a hockey game.
Me too. But what I want to pick is Tampa, Carolina.
Dustin Brown is such a dirty player.
Focus, Joel.
He just high-sticked Matthews in the face on purpose. Like, it's very clear that it was on purpose.
That sounds like a suspension.
Yeah. It was very clear. Like the play wasn't. I'm very upset at Dustin Brown right now. He is arguably the most underrated dirty player. Like, as in, people don't talk about how dirty he actually is, but he is extremely dirty.
So we're just going to ignore how great my squeaky door sound was, right?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Then they just scored on the freaking shorthanded. Oh, my goodness. This game's falling apart.
All right, let's wrap up before Joel gets sad.
Matt Martin, get on the ice. Why don't you go high stick Doughty in the face on purpose? No, don't do that. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that goes poorly for you. What do you want for a game?
I was going to go Anaheim, Philly. Has Vegas been a pick other than...
Vegas has been the pick twice, I believe.
It's up to you. I'll let you make the call.
You know what? Sure. Vegas, Chicago.
If it's not a good game, we're never doing this again.
Yeah. This is an experiment. This is like Antti Niemi. It could end very, very. This is like
Antti Niemi. It is going to end. So okay, then what do you want? Wednesday, it's St. Louis, Calgary, Columbus, Buffalo.
I think it's St. Louis, Calgary, right?
Okay.
Like,
sure.
Because no one wants to watch Columbus and Buffalo. No one wants to watch that.
Our teams play on Thursday. Are we going to choose that game?
Sure, why not?
Okay, Leafs, Carolina.
Leafs, Canes.
Yeah, okay. Friday. There's a ton of games on Thursday. I don't imagine that's the best one to watch, but
look,
Friday.
Mike picked back-to-back Sharks games last week for high sticking. We can do whatever we want. Friday, I think the best game to watch is probably Nashville, Chicago. You've got that narrative of Chicago not scoring against Nashville. And after, Sunday Night Football last night, how those narratives go.
Okay, let's go with that. Saturday.
Wait, is there Friday? What's Friday?
Nothing.
Why are the Avalanche playing a game at 4:00 in the afternoon in Las Vegas?
That's bizarre. I don't know. That's really early, yeah. 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's 3:00.
America, what are you doing on Friday? Like, I know a lot of people in Vegas aren't actually working. There's a number of people, a lot of people there on vacation, whatever, visiting. But come on, what's the story? I need to know. All right, yeah. Saturday. Obviously going to be lots of games Saturday. What are you feeling like?
I'm feeling Washington, Edmonton.
I was feeling that as well a little bit. That's Washington.
Late night.
Yeah, some late night high sticking, and let's see how good Edmonton is. Can you slow down the Flying Ovechkins?
And then Sunday night we'll go Pittsburgh, Winnipeg. Is that the game of the night? Probably.
Yeah, let's go with that.
None of those games are all that great matchups.
No. And then next Monday during the show, Halloween Eve, do we go your team versus Tiny's team?
The I don't know, Martin Jones Diary, maybe
loser leaves town match.
Loser leaves town match. I don't know what's going to happen. We might be at odds with each other.
Well, let's see. A new fifth line is right around the corner. Let's see if you guys can make it through that.
Oh, that's right. We'll be recording right in and around there. Do we record during that show? Hey, there you go. There's a Leafs game where it's not while we're recording, so I'll be paying attention.
Thanks, NHL, for sending the Leafs out west.
Yeah, there you go. So, I don't know. Unless you want to go another one, I'm fine with that. That'd be two Leafs this week.
We're used to that. The Leafs are good. You may not know this, Joel.
They're fun to watch.
The Leafs are a good team, yeah.
So, there you go. Well, anything else? Is that it?
I think we should probably let some folks know about some of the great shows over at the Alberta Podcast Network.
That sounds like a good thing.
Yeah, let's do that. So, Joel, have you heard of the city of Edmonton?
Yes.
Did you know that there's more there than just a struggling hockey team?
No.
Well, this is the show for you then. There's a show called Seen and Heard in Edmonton, hosted by Karen Unland. She lets everyone know the great things that are happening in and around Edmonton. So if you want to know, especially if you're from Edmonton, if you want to know more about what's happening there, you can listen to the show. Follow them on Twitter. Follow Karen on Twitter at Seen and Heard YEG. And you can find out everything, or seenandheardyeg.com, and you can find out everything to know about what's happening in Edmonton.
I bet you, if you're tired of hearing bad things about Edmonton on this show, you'll hear good things about Edmonton on that show.
Yeah, if you are a lover of the city of Edmonton, we have some people in our lives who are quite sensitive about us poking fun at this former city of champions. That's the podcast for you.
There you go. Check it out.
And obviously, thanks to ATB as well for their support of their show, of our show, and the Alberta Podcast Network. Joel, I think it's time to let everyone know the big news.
Clue number 2. Not Edmonton.
Solid clue, Joel. I get that one, not the mittens one still, but we'll work on that. If you want to play high sticking, you can pick who is going to score the game-winning goal in our Pavel Bure must-watch game of the week. You can do that on Twitter. Head over there. Shout out to who do you think is winning high sticking right now?
I have no idea.
Well, Joel, the answer is it's a tie.
So nobody.
It's another tie. We had a tie last week. Someone don't have another tie, please. I don't want to have to decide that. It made me sad.
No, what made you sad is that Mike picked the most, the craziest way for you to have to figure out who won. That was my favorite. I'm so sad that he backed down from that. I wouldn't have backed down. I'd be like, no, that's what we're doing. You go back and you check everyone's goal totals from every game-winning goal. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was not happening. Anyways, there's a tie. Nick Sagan and Canes Hockey 06. Congrats to those guys. Keep going. Tonight's game is the Leafs game.
I can't believe you just didn't go with who chose the most game winners. Because you can get multiple points from different ways. So, the tiebreaker should be who picked the actual most game winners.
I let Mike do it. Don't talk to me about it. Talk to Mike.
I know, but I'm just saying, I was surprised that was not the most, logical decision that you guys would have made. So you went from, something super confusing to then you just chose one of the two. Which...
Mike loves an underdog.
Which I'm totally fine with. I didn't, I was just surprised. I was like, there's much better, more fun, better ways of doing this than what you guys went with. And I was surprised that you went with the way that you did.
Well, by the time this shows up, we will know who scores the actual game winner. The current candidate for it is Patrick Marleau from Morgan Riley and Nazem Kadri. So if you're new to high sticking, what you would do if you pick this game, if you pick Patrick Marleau, 3 points for you. Morgan Riley, 2 points. Nazem Kadri, 1. I don't think anyone picked Mr. Marleau today. I do not recall seeing any. Let's just take a little skim. We've got a double Brown pick. Someone picked both Browns. It's a nice little pick. We've got some Nazem Kadri. I don't like that person.
Dustin Brown's the worst and shouldn't be allowed to play in the NHL.
I understand your thoughts. No, I do not. So no one picked Patrick Marleau. And that's a mistake. They should pick him. So.
Leo Komarov. How is that not a penalty? Jonathan Quick just shoved Leo Komarov in the face. Yeah, that's a penalty.
Johnny Quick does that all the time, Joel. You know that by now.
And he got a penalty for it.
Good.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. You can play high sticking on
Twitter. This game is aggressive.
So let's hurry so Joel can watch this. You can play high sticking on Twitter at Fourth Line Podcast. The fourthlinepodcast.com is your place for all things Fourth Line Podcast and some great articles. Rumor has it there's an article by Mr. Michael Laybourne about the Montreal Canadiens coming out shortly. Facebook. We have a Facebook page. You can go over there, facebook.com/the Fourth Line Podcast, and the aforementioned Patreon. You can head over there and get great content like cooking articles, bonus episodes, and more. So, Lots of great stuff over there. Joel, next week, will you stop giving us clues and just tell us?
At the end of the show, you have to figure out my algorithm.
Joel doesn't have an algorithm.
Boom City.